New developments this morning in the case of Jaycee Dugard, the woman who was found after being kidnapped 18 years ago. Is the man who allegedly took her a serial killer? CBS News correspondent John Blackstone is in Antioch, California with the latest. John, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Well, investigators spent the weekend combing through the backyard prison here looking for evidence. They've now actually expanded their search into the lot next door, trying to discover Garrido's background. Now, we're also learning more about the woman who's actually believed to have dragged Jaycee into Garrido's car 18 years ago, and that's his mysterious wife, Nancy.
Phillip and Nancy met while he was serving time at a federal penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas for a kidnapping and rape in the 1970s. Nancy once worked in the healthcare industry and was rarely seen by neighbors.
I never would imagine that somebody could have a compound and nobody in the neighborhood would even have a clue.
These are the first photos from inside the backyard prison, showing up close the disturbing conditions in which Jaycee Dugard was held captive. Now, a bizarre manifesto written by Garrido has surfaced, addressed to the San Francisco FBI, describing his efforts to control the desires that drive a sexual predator. Specially trained cadaver dogs entered the property Sunday as police looked for evidence Garrido may be involved in the murders of other women missing in the area.
We missed an opportunity.
Several opportunities. First, a sheriff's deputy visited the property in 2006.
The deputy unfortunately did not go into the home or the backyard.
There was a visit from a sexual predator task force, regular checks by a parole officer, even the fire department.
We're looking at the call history. It appears the fire department came out here 6 times.
That address is a sex offender's address and a person on parole. So they should have some kind of red flag of that. It just scares me to think about how sick people are today.
Now, there's a lot of red flags here this morning. They're looking through the yard next door because at one time Garrido was the caretaker of this, and the resident who's moved in there now says that when he moved in, the locks were such that a person could only be locked inside. They couldn't lock people out. Now, one startling fact, the Megan's Law website shows that in this zip code, in Garrido's zip code, there are more than 100 registered sex offenders. Harry?
John Blackstone in Antioch, California, thanks. Joining us now from San Francisco is Maria Christensen, who had business dealings with Phillip Garrido. Maria, good morning.
Good morning.
You run a recycling business. How was it you came in to do some business with Phillip Garrido?
Oh, about 10 years ago, he was highly recommended by another business person in Pittsburgh. And he started printing all my stationery. He started coming around more and more as we did more business. At the beginning, he was kind of just odd. He would deliver at odd hours. I come in the morning and the stuff will be on the door, so I wouldn't see him as much.
Right. But did your antenna ever rise up to the point where you thought this guy is anything more than just peculiar?
No. I just thought he was such a, such a religious freak that he was just harmless.
Right. When was it that he started to talk to you more about religion, and when did you begin to think maybe this guy is a little more than just strange?
About a year ago, he would just keep coming and telling me about this stuff, and gave me the CD, gave me the just flyers, and asking me can he come to my business and preach there, and I said no.
Right. And he asked you for money at one point, did he?
Yeah.
Not?
Last year, him and his wife came in, and they wanted a $2,000 advancement on the receipt so that they can build a bathroom to start a church at home.
Did you ever go to his house?
Yes, and he wouldn't let me in.
He wouldn't let you in?
No.
Did you ever see Jaycee?
No. I've only seen one of the kids.
One of the kids.
Yes.
And especially in the encounter when he asked you for money, and I know there was crying involved, and he confessed to some things that we don't want to talk about on television in terms of sexual behavior.
Yeah, he was crying, and they were both crying, and she was hanging on to me, and he was saying he had been in prison, and I just figured it was drugs because he was so goofy.
Right. Knowing what you know now must be very difficult as you look back over the last year.
Yeah, because there was, you know, so many flags there that we should have picked up on.
Yeah. In conversations with others of your colleagues, did anybody ever say at one point, we should call this guy in, or somehow reach beyond these obvious, or I guess they're obvious now, but the signs that he was giving you?
Well, he was just talking about religion a whole lot. He wasn't really doing anything, you know. Nothing that we should be calling on, because we didn't know his past.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.